All right, one more time. To evaluate an exponential expression, we're going to make all the powers positive. We're going to substitute those values in, and then we're going to simplify. Be careful for your negatives. A negative exponent doesn't make a negative number. You need to keep that in mind. So again, I'm going to do this the same way I was. I'm going to first highlight what's not happy. I'm going to keep the things that are happy where they are, but I'm going to move the unhappy part and it goes to the bottom. The next step I want to do is evaluate these. So I've got 3 on the top. I have an x, which is a 2 squared, and on the bottom I have a negative 3. Notice how I'm putting in parentheses squared because it is the y. The whole y is being squared. So I end up with 9 on the bottom because that's negative 3 times negative 3. And here on the top I have a 3 times 2 times 2. That would be 12. Now we could reduce this because 3 goes into both of those to be 4/3. The next problem, we're going to highlight anything that's not happy. We're going to leave everything else that is fine or happy alone, and we're going to move that to the bottom, and then we're going to simplify. Well, we're going to plug in negative 3 for the y, and we're going to plug in 2 for the x. Notice that gives me 1 on top. Anything to the 0 power is 1, and you could have done that way back here if you wanted to. And then the bottom we have 2 times 2 times 2, because that's what 2 to the third is, which is 1/8. On the next problem here, I have the x to the negative 1 that is unhappy. We're going to keep everything else that is happy where it is, so the y to the second's on the bottom. The x to the first gets moved to the bottom, and I just end up with a 1 on top because I can't put a 0 up there. We're going to then say I have 1 over, this would be 2 to the first power, and I'd have negative 3 to the second power. So what I end up having is I have 2 times, and this is a negative 3 times a negative 3. Well, that ends up giving me negative 6 times negative 3 is 18, 1 over 18. Just a few more examples here. This time I'm not highlighting anything because nothing has a negative exponent. We're just going to go ahead and substitute things in. So I have got negative 3 to the 0 power, and I have 2 to the 4th power. So I end up getting 1 on the top and 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 on the bottom, which is 1 over 16. This is my last example. We're going to highlight the unhappy part. I'm going to rewrite this, make the y happy by moving it up top to the top of the fraction, keeping the x down below because it was already happy, and then substitute in my values. So I have a negative 3 squared, and then on the bottom I have a 2. So my final answer ends up being negative 3 times negative 3 all over 2, and that is 9/2.